Hello, everybody, and welcome to our playthrough of Pathologic. I was looking through my library, and I've been playing so many classic PC games, and I wanted to play something a little bit different. And really, I don't know all that much about Pathologic, just that it's a very surreal first-person horror game from 2005, and it's very well lauded. It's kind of a cult classic, and I've always been interested in games by this company. Ice Pick Lodge is what they're called. They made another game which I did play called The Void. I didn't finish The Void, but it's a very surreal, beautiful game, and it had just a very distinct tone. So I figured, why not go back? Pathologic HD came with a Humble Bundle last month, and I got a key for it, so I was like, why not? So we're gonna give Pathologic a try and see how it goes. But yeah, here we go. You didn't really miss too much from the intro. It seems to be a randomized quote set of text at the start that deals with various different topics. Like the first time I loaded it up, it had something to do with chimeras, and then the second one had to do with a spreading sand plague of sorts, and then it had a very Silent Hill 2-esque intro sequence. So yeah, let's go with this very interesting looking title screen. Okay, that...
So, it's all about trickery to you? Wherever have you come from?
No. I detest trickery. But if we ourselves are to suffer deception, our hands are no longer tied. Where are we?
Well,
big question.
the muscular contraction is there. Means you're already inside of him.
What?
This must be one of the ventricles, right here.
What a silly place. It's stuffed. So it's not real for now? I don't think it has started yet.
Does it matter what it's made of? It's definitely struggling. We need to perform sectio transversalis. Cut the wall. There's no other way out. What else is there to do?
I know what to do. Those who favor hard logic and direct action are bound to be misguided. Only a miracle can set us free without us having to destroy something. And I can do miracles. Just let me.
Will you please be quiet? You're a liar and a thief. Who is going to believe you when you keep lying to yourself? The truth is my shepherd. Whatever happens, I will find answers, and justice will be restored. I will perform the operation. Medica morbo adhibe.
Don't you go all bossy on me, clever clogs.
What's
You will
going
act
on?
justly, but your justice will blind you and become his demise. This calls for the gentle hand of a surgeon. Step aside, both of you.
Your gentle hands are used to killing, not giving life. You will inevitably do harm. As for Brainy, he has no regard for casualties at all. Neither of you knows compassion.
Yes, it seems unlikely that we'll get along well, but there's only one truth.
Any choice is right as long as it's willed. That's the truth of the matter.
Only the heart will show you the right choice. Stop thinking about yourselves. Think of the sick. He's in
I
pain.
will
I can't
comment
see it,
on this
but I can feel it.
after the
It's
speech.
not even a trap. It's a grave. Subipsum funisumus. Can't say I hold a soft spot for it.
I can see that. You're full of hate. Stuffed or not, it's breathing. I can hear it. It can be healed rather than killed.
You mean you won't become a killer? But you will. Mark my word, that's exactly what will happen. But I can avoid it.
No, we won't ever get along. I suggest we be on our way. The sooner the better.
Off we go then?
Let's go. The clock is ticking.
This is very cool. Oh man, okay. I'm just gonna see if there's a settings for is there none for subtitles? The speech was pretty clear, but so that was very stage play-esque, and this reminds me so much of Silent Hill. So what I gather from that speech was this is the metaphorical presentation of a dying person, or and then the three people there on the stage represented different aspects of how to cure a person. One seemed to be surgical, just use the logic of science to cure that person. Another seemed to be faith-based. I think that was the younger child character who worked through faith and love and compassion. And the other person, I couldn't tell, he spoke like a priest, but he talked less about faith and more about logic. But he also used a bunch of, Latin, so I'm not entirely sure, but this is centered around the dying thoughts of a person, question mark? I don't know, we'll see as we go on. That was a cool intro sequence, that's all I'm gonna say. This is so 2000s, early 2000s. Oh, I pick a character? What? Okay. Bachelor, the history of humanity witnessed a number of catastrophes that have demonstrated without a shadow of a doubt the pettiness of human achievement and the triumph of the invincible evil. Outbreaks of infectious diseases have from time to time wiped towns and cities off the map are undoubtedly among those. However, smart and virtuous, the people caught up in these destructive events have repeatedly come to the conclusion that there's no use trying to fight these circumstances. The best you can do is bite the bullet and cope with your losses. This is the story of a person who has managed to work a miracle and defeat a seemingly unvanquishable foe. Harispecs? How do they call upon Menklu, the faithful of a warden kin, known by their hands for they are butchers, known by their eyes for they are surgeons. They who follow the lines, they who are leaders of the kin. They who speak to the Urdrugs. Oh my goodness, what is this? They who who know the secret art of haruspicy. What is a harispex? Reading the future in the entrails. He knows that a body bears semblance to the universe. His scalpel follows the lines of the body. His steps follow the lines of his kin's fortune. A harispex that can tell a true line from a false one is entrusted with power. A harispex who is confused by his path gets buried deep in the black flesh of the earth. This is the story of a person who has avoided the contradiction, eager to rip a doomed life apart, masterfully fulfilling his true purpose in the process. So these are the three characters that were talking on stage. This is the surgeon. This is a surgeon type character. This is the one fighting against who uses logic. Yeah, this guy, the Bachelor, he sounded very logical, but also had miracles when he was talking about the... I don't know. This is very confusing as is. And Changeling, this character is only unlocked after you finish the Bachelor or the Harispex storyline. I want to go with this very nihilistic approach. Worked a miracle and defeated an seemingly unvanquishable foe. I'll just go through them. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, we'll start with the Bachelor.
Daniil Dankovsky, a Bachelor of Medicine, was brought here by circumstances most unfortunate. Dankovsky's life work, his theory challenging the existing notions of human mortality, is being harshly persecuted by the powers that be. Suddenly, a letter arrives from a colleague suggesting that there is previous undiscovered evidence which may support Dankovsky's claims. There is a settlement, the letter says, ruled by an extraordinary man who may well be seen as objective proof of Dankovsky's daring hypothesis. Grasping at straws of hope, Dankovsky decides to follow what he believes to be the sign of divine providence.
But what is his theory?
Ado, he sets off for the settlement. Late at night, Bachelor arrives in the town. As he seeks room and board, he gets to know a girl called Eva Yan and stays at her place till dawn.
This is going to be a very confusing series. but I already love the aesthetics. So ooh, spooky. I honestly love this era's CGI as well. Like I said, it reminds me so much of Silent Hill. And I think this... I'll have to check if I'm wrong, but I think this company is Russian. They're Eastern European at the very least, but their style of presentation and storytelling is so vastly different to what most people are used to, it stands out a lot. It's very bleak, a lot of their stories that have come out and been translated for the West. So I don't exactly know what they mean by the powers that be and what exactly Daniel here is challenging in regards to human morality as a concept. Okay. That's a lot of characters. I like the loading screen. That's cool. Loading the world. Again, I barely know anything about this game. Just that it's very surreal and very uniquely toned. And I should... As of today, my mission remains obscure. The examination of Simon Kane, who is rumored to be a man of incredible longevity, may shake the very foundation of modern thanatology and challenge the existent notions of death itself. However, even if this undying Leviathan proves to be more than a fairy tale, the mere confirmation of his existence won't suffice to prevent the powers that be from shutting our laboratory down. I need to figure out the most fruitful approach. Simon is a well-respected man, and if he mistakes my interest for effrontery, it would be nigh impossible to convince him to help me break new ground in the field of human vitality. Oh, it's mortality, not morality. My bad. That makes more sense. So he's like, this is a doctor pretty much working on extending human life beyond what we're used to. So, quest, other tasks. Okay! Day 1, by the end of which the Bachelor find themselves battling a truly unvanquishable foe. I already know one. Ooh. It's already unsettling. The music's not helping. What engine was this built on? No idea. Anyway. It's clearly a bed I can use. Health, immunity, hunger, exhaustion, and infection. What? Oh my goodness. That's how much money I got. I have a scalpel. Large cartilage scalpel can be used as a close combat weapon. Not very easy to handle, but very effective due to its sharpness. Deals the most damage when attacking from the front. Protective gloves. Light gloves made of synthetic material that serves as good repellent. Takes time from contact with infects. Oh goodness. Moderately against burns, grazing, stabs. Oh great. Tourniquet. Health recovery after a traumatic injury. Stops bleeding and mobilizes damaged tissue. Outdated immunity boost. Only useful in very large doses that cause... Wow, okay, serious health damage. Morphine! Belladorm. Painkillers, okay. Rations. Water. Bottle of spring water from the hidden springs. The cathedral stone spring. The spring a yarn square well, or the Kadu spring in the boundary between the steppe and the rotten field. The water of the latter is used to be sacred, but the locals are... Okay. Kerosene. Refilling the lamp. Oh my... What have I got myself into? There's combat? There's a survival type system. There's exhaustion. This game's already ahead of its time. No joke. But how do I escape this room? Where is the door out, please? Am I blind? Seems like you pulled back the curtain. Okay, that's my lantern. First step, how do you play this game? Do I have no choice but to go to sleep? No way. Oh, okay. What? This is going to be an interesting ride. I'll say that much. Maybe we'll just go to sleep. Well, I don't know if I just go to sleep. It just passes time. I'm a little bit hungry, no longer exhausted. No, but seriously, how do I leave the room? Oh, I'm stupid. Okay. I like the decor. Nice. That's probably a waste of like 2 hours, however many I decided to sleep. Nice painting. Hello, Eva. It's
I had a feeling you would come.
Did the sounds from outside wake you up too? There was a terrible groan and something snapped loudly. No, I heard nothing. I think that there are strangers in the backyard by the pond. They're unlikely to be planning mischief, but I have a bad feeling about this. I'm afraid to go out to them. I hope they go away soon and stop disturbing our sleep. I'd like to thank you for your hospitality for board and bed. I sincerely hope you have everything you need, because I'm very happy to have you here. Daniel, is it? How do you know who I am? Glory is a messenger riding ahead of the man. A celebrity from the capital. Bachelor Daranovsky, the founder of Thanatica. The man who challenges death. Of course we've heard about you. Is everyone actually dead? I mean, I'm just gonna... I don't actually believe that. It's just a trope that's commonly used. This glory is undeserved yet, but I hope that getting to know your ruler will give me a chance to live up to my expectations. Death. So that's the enemy you've chosen for yourself. Isn't it hard? I don't think anyone has managed to defeat that evil yet. So this is... Right, the doctor always brings death because doctors cannot keep people eternally alive. So, okay. Millions of doctors defeated on singular occasions, but my enemy is more fearsome. It is death itself rather than the singular case of death. I don't understand. I can barely understand it myself. Could death only seem inevitable to us, but in reality be nothing more than a whim of the will that has shaped the world? That is the question. So where is the key to my victory? It is not far. The Canes live at the Crucible at Bridge Square, but could I please offer you a piece of advice? Go on. Simon has two younger brothers. The eldest of the two, Georgi, is the judge of the locals. Visit him first. He isn't asleep. He'll teach you how to speak with Simon. The youngest of the three is Victor. His daughter Maria also wanted to see you. It is probably important. Was it she who knew about my arrival beforehand? Yes, she told me about it privately. Talking to her is no simple task. Maria is that kind of person. She puts on airs, and that's just how the Canes are. It was Maria who told me she would help you defeat death. That's the precise wording. What a coincidence. Alright, thank you for the advice. Go, and I'll prepare everything for your return. Do come back after you speak with the Canes. They will probably do a lot of things that will puzzle you and put you on guard. I will have some advice that may be of help to you if you need it. Okay, I'll come back. What? Oh my goodness, I think I've jumped into far more than I was expecting, so I'm right here, right? Or am I here? Where am I? I assume this is here. Yeah, Eva, the Stillwater, Eva Jan's house. 840. This mansion called the Stillwater belongs to a single girl named Eva Jan. An accidental midnight encounter provided me with a lovely companion and temporary lodging. Okay. The mysterious Maria, Victor Kane's daughter, has been expecting my arrival for several days. She seems to know more about me than I do. And then the Crucible, George Lee Kane, Simon Kane's Road. That's where I want to go first. Okay. Let's go. What? I don't want to approach this being. This is a metallic bird. This is not what I expected when I started playing this game. It's either executor or executor. Halt. I'm going to have to teach you about the technicalities of the setting, the time, and the place. It's not essential, but that's how it is. The actor has to be prepared before he goes on stage, or he'll fall down the aisle or stumble upon the prompt box. And that would look mighty silly, wouldn't you agree? Who are you? An actor in a tragic mime show. That's unimportant. Will you listen to me or not? This is sick. Okay, I'm listening. Time flies by. It can't be stopped or turned back. Nights follow days, which are then followed by nights. Things happen without any regard for whether you are there to witness them. Don't expect anyone to wait for you. Most events can be missed. So I assume this is just like talking about the way that the game world functions. This town will live and events will happen regardless if I'm there for them or not. And time constantly progresses, which is cool. And so it would make sense for you to visit the places that you care about regularly. You will find people that will play major roles in your fate there. They stand out from the common folk. The rest are just a crowd shot, a background, a bunch of extras. As it has always been. Indeed. Still, it is best to avoid hasty judgment. It is a paradox, you see. Don't try to care too much for the lives of these bound to stand out people. And don't be too dismissive of the silent crowd. Both extremes will end in tragedy. Why is that? This world cares for your reputation. A fine and crucial instrument. Your reputation changes the world you see, for it is a mirror. Wouldn't you agree? And a bad reputation can get you into a lot of trouble. For example? Oh, need I describe? You've a vivid imagination. Everything changes, from mythical aspects to mundane things like the people you need treating you badly. How many enemies you've got, how high the prices are, how bad your dreams are, lots of things. A sorry prospect. So how do I maintain my reputation? Really? How is that even a question? Same as anywhere. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not betray. Do not steal, do not covet, do not be an asshole. Do not get caught. The rules are the same everywhere. A truly selfless deed, like risking something for thy neighbor, or even a person who lives quite away, can help in a dire situation. I see. Really? Good for you, then. As for me, I can't see anything in this mask. I have no idea what's going on. Anyway, don't get too worked up about human lives, and don't put too much stock in another's words, mine included. He who trusts everyone is asking to be deceived. Yet, he who trusts no one is deluded. I know that from experience. This is cool. This is very surreal, and I dig it, because this is one of my favorite, not genres per se, but I love the dreamlike aspect of things. Like, the more surreal and dreamlike a thing is, the more I'm usually into it, which is why David Lynch is one of my favorite directors. And the stuff he's done is some of my favorite pieces of media ever. And this conveys a very surreal, nightmarish almost. Like, look at this character! Tragedian? Venerable Bachelor, be so kind as to linger for a minute. This conversation won't take up too much of your time, especially since time stops during dialogues. I do like how they incorporated the, explaining of game mechanics into the dialogue. It fits just as well. At least during the important ones, and our dialogue is extremely important. You need to know how to play after all, don't you? Play? What are you talking about, Masked Man? I'm neither a gambler nor an actor. Of course you aren't. You're a living, breathing man, as is evident from your condition and statuses. You experience hunger, thirst, and fatigue. You suffer from pain, wounds, and diseases. You're so lifelike. You have to eat, drink, sleep, and rest, and to make mistakes. The latter being the most definitive proof of my human nature, wouldn't you agree? If I may, I would like to point out just how important it is to keep an eye on your condition. If you get dizzy or unnaturally sluggish, do have it checked up. Vital processes tend to run faster during emergencies than in everyday life. I knew a person who died of stress but was diagnosed with starvation. It happens. I can testify to that as a doctor. Need I remind a wise man of the fact that hunger is satiated with food. Food can be found in shops, and shops can be found in ordinary houses that are marked with specific signs. Sleep, however, is more complicated. People only sleep in beds and only in private residences around here. I'm sorry, but that's just how our world is. Yes, the world is unjust. Clearly, we should all be able to sleep wherever we want, in whoever's houses and beds that we want. And quite silly, if you forgive me for saying so. Speaking of commerce, different shops sell similar items at different prices. Make sure you don't get cheated. People can be quite brazen around here. You can also barter with the folk out in the streets. Some things may be nothing more than trinkets to you, but others would be willing to part with their life's blood for them. You're a bore, mate, let me through. Blood? Yes, blood. It is not my place to lecture you, but if, following your Hippocratic oath, you ever consider easing someone's pain, feel free to just approach them with a suitable drug. You'll see their pain receding before your very eyes. The sick fall asleep when they're close to recovery, don't they? Or when they're close to their ultimate rest. Still, helping the hopeless will grant you a good reputation. You will be seen as a benefactor willing to part with the most precious sleeping drug or painkiller for the simple bystander. Anything else? No, not yet. I already know where Simon's house is. Bye then, Mask. This is so cool. Like, the dialogue is very wordy, and I'm sure people think it's like... This game as a whole is probably, a bit, what is the word? I can't recall the word that I want to say, but I am totally... Is there a map? Yeah. Highfalutin. Condescending. Up its own butt. I don't know. This is cool. I like it. The way that the writing is very stage play-esque and bizarre. And in the background, I apologize for the phone if it picks it up. If it does, because there's a phone ringing. And I'm not answering it because it's probably just a call for a wrong number. As per usual. I should actually look at the back of the house. What does that mean? Did I pick up money or something off the ground? Can I just go in? Nope, that's the locked door. So Eva was concerned by the strangers because of this. Is she talking about these two NPCs? Or what? There's something weird happening over here. What in the world? I don't even know what to say. They got their crouches down. Please do not be a combat situation. I really enjoy this game. Who are you? Factory worker. What is this puppet mask look. What do you want? This ain't your business. What is this creature? An Odog, duh. That's what them cattle breeders look like. Crude and unshapely and unfinished. Don't you know? Wherever you came from. An intruder, huh? It is you who are intruding. Go away. Don't you see he's sick? He's a runaway, this Odong. Fight him all night long, I did. We'll march across the river now. Or else he dies. Give him a break, will ya? He ain't gonna bite your head off. Be on your way, and watch out, too. We don't need no witnesses. We can do some killing if we must. Fine, I'm leaving. Relax, I won't tell anyone about you. What in the... The worm feels sick. Head packed. Blood boiling. Belly freezing. Let the worm warm up. Let him take a rest. Don't touch us. We're dangerous. Whoa, that's substantial. Wow, you animal. How on earth do you even live like that? Wow. Okay. I'm just gonna accept things in this world as they happen. Not questioning it. I don't know what that meter in the top left is saying. Just gonna quickly look at the key bindings. Plague Finder. Okay. I can hide my hand. Oh, interesting. Sneak. Yeah. Reload. Diary. Letters. Character status. Okay. So I'm a little bit hungry, not that exhausted, pretty okay immunity. Okay. Can I just talk to people on the street? I can. Man. Anything I can do for you? I'd be much obliged if you help me learn how to get around your town. There's more than one town here. The first one is called Bull Project. The second one, the offspring of the project, is the districts, rather. I mean the residential part itself. Not so long ago, the town also dropped anchor across the river, but I wouldn't go so far as to call that part of the district too. It's just the polyhedron. Tell me about the Bull Project. It's the industrial base of the town. The station, the warehouses, the works, and the abattoir all belong to it. I wouldn't recommend going there. It is not an appropriate place for a person from the capital. It's filthy there, and the stench... I'd say it's not an appropriate place for anyone at all. I didn't think about going there anyway. Say, how come such a tiny town is divided into districts? I've hated beef for as long as I can remember. No, that's not true. Well, this just sort of came to be that way. The Gullet and the Guzzle. The Gorkon's tributaries divide the town into 3 parts, each one of them consisting of many separate courtyards, so maybe that's the reason. And what are those parts? The lower part, adjacent to the abattoir, is called Earth. One between the Gullet and the Guzzle we call the Knots, and the triangular promontory between the Guzzle and the Gorhon is the Stone Yard. That's intricate. What about the district names? The Stone Yard consists of 2 districts, the Bridge Square and the Atrium, plus the Mistress's Tombs, of course. Earth has... Oh my goodness. This is so overwhelming. Earth has 4 residential districts. The Skinners, the Tanners, the Hindquarters, and the Crude sprawl in the middle. In the middle. Starting this conversation was a mistake. Is something wrong? I'm just not sure you need any of this. This is where I lean my head back and sigh. Okay. The knots have 7 districts. The spleen, the marrow, the chine, the backbone, the mouth, the flank, and the gut. So all parts of a being. Butcher. I don't suppose I need to go into any further detail. Surely the Canes will show you around. They are expecting you after all. Much obliged, dude. I like his shoes. This is so cool. No lie. So this is a pharmacy where I can go get... What does that mean? What is that little bar? Locked. Where am I now? It's a big old church. Let's talk to this lady. Woman, my heart is crying for my poor children. How are my dearest doing? Is everything alright? Oh, woman's share is hard. Would you kindly mend my clothes? Wow. You got a curious town here. I never expect to see something like this in such a remote place. Everyone is tired of the endless construction work. We want some quiet. Is there a lot of construction going on? Not a lot, but I cannot shrug away the feeling that the world is changing all too quickly. The rulers invite architects from the capital and they turn everything upside down. It is fun for the children, but a torment to us. I'm sorry to hear that. She's a very unhappy lady. I guess I'll talk to this man and then call it an episode. Wow, this guy's, like, very upstanding. Young man, good morals and luck are a great help in managing a small community without resorting to violence. Personal standing can work wonders. No, it's a pie in the sky. Sorry, I can't help feasting my eyes on your outfit. Who's the mad tailor? I'm gonna ask him, what do you mean? I like our town. We're all one big family, but sometimes I get the feeling we are all controlled by an unseen power. Our actions are but fiction. Haha. Meta commentary. It's quite possible. No, but seriously, what is up with that outfit? Can I ask him about the outfit? Sorry, I can't. Yeah. Okay, that just shuts down the conversation like that. This architecture's really cool, too. What this reminds me tonally is of American McGee's stuff. Like Madness Returns. It's like slightly darker, slightly edgy-ish. But no, this is really cool. I'm very excited to get more into it. Like the very bizarre NPCs that set the stage, the introduction. It's enticed me greatly, and I can... What is that? Like when games go for spaces that cannot exist in reality and just fully enter into the whole dreamlike aspect of things. What in the world is that? I love it! So I hope you'll join me next time. Also, this game is really pretty. For a 2005 game, atmosphere, art direction does a lot for making this game look good. Anyway, hope you join me next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.